What's going on, gang? It's your boy Jabooted, back with another Battlefield video. And this time around, instead of making some brain rot meme filled video, I've decided instead to make a more mature, informative video. You know what I'm saying? Informing Dice, letting them know what I like and letting them know where they fucked up at. And speaking about fucking up, we're gonna get right into it, talking about the weapon balancing. We're going to talk about the most balanced, most fair. This weapon doesn't need to be nerfed, doesn't need to be buffed. It's at the best spot in the game, the shotguns.
Is this nigga serious?
That's what I would say if Dice paid me to say that. But nah, let's be for real. The shotgun's fucking broken. It needs to get fixed immediately, bro. Don't get me wrong. There's no problem with a shotgun being good at close quarters combat. That's like what they're known for and shit.
Shotguns at the right range with the right load will physically remove a chunk of shit off your opponent and throw that shit on the floor.
The problem becomes when the shotgun becomes way too good at the other stuff like long range engagements. I feel like the base shotguns in the game should be just like your classic video game shotguns. You feel me? Good at close range. Anything a little bit too further, you get a couple hit markers and whatnot. And then later on, when you unlock attachments, that's when you should be allowed to build your shotgun how you want it to. Just so like on day one when Battlefield 6 drops, we're not getting shotgun spammed out here and whatnot. Also maybe nerfing the pump movement. The pump speed. You know what I'm saying? That would probably work out a lot, and also nerfing down the movement as well a little bit in general would also help out a lot. I think, being that it's a full size shotgun and not like some compact shorty 12 gauge. Now we're gonna be talking about the shotguns of the long range world, the snipers. All right, so for the most part, snipers are in a good spot. Classic Battlefield sniping for the most part. You know what I'm saying? You lick your finger, see where the wind is at. You know what I'm saying? Calculate for bullet drop, and if you get that heady shotty, you're going to get that kill. So for the most part, they're in a good spot, the snipers. I just feel like their range needs to get either nerfed or the DMR's range need to get buffed. Because, you know what I'm saying, on some maps, it's just straight up sniper city out there, boys. And I don't hate it, but it could be fixed. You know what I'm saying? Maybe nerf the range a little bit of the snipers, where you have to like adjust a lot more and whatnot. Because I'm not going to lie, sniping in this game is addicting. Once you get that one shot, one kill headshot, oh my goodness, you're going to get hooked like crack. Alright, so for the most part, all the carbines all feel good. The AK-502, that shit got no recoil. Like, no recoil. Now, it makes sense. I'm pretty sure it shoots the 5.45 caliber. So, yeah, it makes sense there's no recoil. But it does have like hella low damage, so I guess that's how they plan on balancing it out. Makes sense. Also, I would say maybe slowing down the reload speed on it would be good, because right now it's low key the best carbine. The MK17 on that one, the damage needs to get buffed up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. For the only carbine that is shooting 7.62, I feel like the damage could get buffed up a little bit. But besides that, I don't really think it needs to get changed around. Just a little damage buff, and that's about it. The M4 is probably one of my favorite guns in the game. I mean, I don't think it's like the best gun in the game, but it's my favorite because, you know, American shit. But I will say though that the recoil on the M4 is a little bit dumb. I feel like they should switch out the Galil's recoil and put it on the M4, and put the M4 recoils on the Galil. Speaking about the Galil, we're gonna move on to the assault rifles. And yeah, the Galil it's a little bit too good. The Galil is a little too good. It has way too low recoil for a Galil. The Galil in real life hits recoil way harder and shit. It's meant to power through any like rubble or like debris that you may have inside of it. Because of that, it has really stout recoil, and the game doesn't really simulate it that much. I feel like I said, the Galil's recoil should be with the M4, and the M4 should be with the Galil's recoil. I hope that I explained that correctly. The damage should both be the same, but yeah, the recoils on them guns need to get switched out. The G36 is in a really good spot. Only thing I can really say about that gun is that I really hope they add a short barrel attachment to it, because personally speaking, when it comes to looks, short barrel G36 way sexier than some long barrel G36. But hey, hopefully they just added an attachment that gives you that option and whatnot. Also, a G36 skin or an option to take off the carry handle. That shit will be fire. That shit will be fire. I would really appreciate it if DICE added that option. The Kilo is also in a good spot. I just wish that they put a different gun over it. I feel like the Kilo's been getting shoved down my throat since Modern Warfare 2019 came out. But you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's a bad gun. It's not a bad looking gun. It fits the game aesthetic and whatnot. I just feel like this should have been like a DLC gun or something like that. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of way more unique assault rifles out there that could have fit the game's aesthetic, but it's not a bad gun. It's not a bad gun. It performed well. I think it performs better here than it did in Modern Warfare 2019, low key. And now we're gonna be moving on to the SMGs, and there's only 2 SMGs, so there's not really much to talk about. But they all performed the way that I would expect an SMG to perform: no recoil, low damage, high rate of fire, stuff like that. They both smack, they both slap, and really they could just stay the same as they are in the game. DICE doesn't really need a nerf or buff any of the SMGs. They're both in a good spot. Now the DMRs are not in a good spot right now. DMRs are probably the most ignored and slept on and most disliked weapon system in the game, and with good reason. The M14 definitely needs a buff on its damage. That, or it needs to get a buff on its recoil and have less recoil. Because it's a 3-tapper. In my opinion, with the recoil that it has, it should be 2-tapping. So they either got to do one or two things. They either got to buff the damage or take away some recoil. The second DMR has the same problem, basically. The second DMR is a 2-tapper, but the recoil is worse on it. Like, you think the M14 recoil is bad, and then you switch over to the second DMR, the SVK, I'm pretty sure is the name of it, and you're gonna be like, damn, I should have never hated on the M14. I'd much rather use the M14. I got a couple clips with the M14. So yeah, out of all the weapon categories, this is definitely the one that needs the most love and attention from DICE, because it's the most dog shit right now. Also, it's kind of weird that you can't put an LPVO on an M14. When it comes to LMGs, just like the SMGs, for the most part, they're in a really good spot. The Ultimax needs a rebalance for sure. I don't know. You know, they can keep the recoil the same. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how the gun, I guess, performs IRL. But maybe like the damage could get nerfed a little bit. You know what I'm saying? If the gun's gonna be that much of a laser beam, I would say that nerfing the damage would be the better move. For the most part, LMGs should have some sort of heavy recoil. You know what I'm saying? So it could give the player an incentive to actually use the bipod and not run around like Rambo and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to grenade launchers, I like where the grenade launchers are at. As a, you know, I think DICE is intending them to be more of a destructive tool and not an anti-infantry tool. Which, you know, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. But I feel like the splash damage maybe should get buffed a little bit, just a little bit. Feels like right now in the game, you need to direct impact a dude with the noob tube to do something. And, you know, that's not really how grenade launchers work. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to have like an AoE effect. So when it comes to launchers, RPGs, they definitely need an AoE buff, like immediately. They're really effective against vehicles, which is nice. But against infantry, they're kind of dog shit. I don't know, y'all might have seen this video, but there was a video of a dude who literally had like a group of 20 people in front of him, and he shoots RPG and only gets a 4-piece. That's all I gotta say when it comes to the weapon balancing.
I put a stick on a stick on a stick on a stick on a stick, stack sticks, make fire. I take a trip down a creek with a pocket of crickets for fishes and one for snare wire. Extend a fishing pole so I could put that thing in my backpack and hike up to the lake.
Baby, it's triple!
Let me just say this right now. This has got to be the best weapon customization I've seen in a fat minute. It's definitely the best weapon customization in a Battlefield ever. I think the last Battlefield that had like really good weapon customization was 4, and this one's definitely taking a spot. This weapon customization is fire. They brought back canted red dots and iron sights, and you know I'm a big fan of canted iron sights and canted red dots. But it's using the really old school system where you gotta aim in and then press a button to switch the sights. I feel like in the big 2025, they should really upgrade that, and they should pull a page out of Ready or Not's book where when you lightly press the aiming button, your character goes into a canted aim, and then when you completely press the aiming button, when you completely press it down, that's when your character commits to actually aiming. Now that we're done talking about the weapons that we know are in the game, we're going to talk about the weapons that have been leaked in the game. I'm going to give my opinion on them and whatnot. Starting off with the G3A4. This gun is a classic. You know what I'm saying? It's basically a thick MP5. But it wouldn't be one of my first picks. Not a bad pick, but you know, wouldn't be one of my first picks. The LA5A3. Oh my goodness. Thank God they're adding the British service rifle to the game, but it's not the fucking ugly ass M16 carry handle mutant IWI Tavor. Now, this would have been one of my first choices, you know what I'm saying? This is definitely the cooler Israeli service weapon. I'm pretty sure the Jews be using this shit. Definitely the cooler one out of the Galil. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, the best Galil is the Galil ARM. That's the OG. That's the best from Black Ops 1. The Galil Ace and the ones in the game, like I said, I mean, it's not my favorite, but you know, I don't really got too much love for it. I'm glad they're putting it in the Tavor. The A545. This gotta be a filler weapon. This gotta be a filler weapon because this is like some Temu AK, bruh. Like, it kind of looks cool, but it wouldn't even be like my 30th pick if I'm being for real. This is just kind of like their way of bringing back the AEK, but they should have just brought back the AEK. Next up, we got the Scar L. Now listen, I like the Scar L, but I would much rather prefer the Scar H. You know what I'm saying? I will only accept the Scar L into Battlefield 6 if it has the option to make it the Scar H. Scar SC. Now, this gun is cool as fuck, but this is just basically like a really small Scar. You know what I'm saying? And this gun could have been in the game through unlocking attachments instead of just taking up its own weapon slot. QBZ I-19. Oh my god, thank God they're adding a QBZ gun that isn't those ugly ass bullpups and shit. Then we got the SIG XM7.
What is up, my SIGs?
I'm really glad this one's making a comeback. I'm like super glad. I just hope that you could turn this into other SIG rifles, maybe have like a 300 blackout version, stuff like that. Next up, we got the SG553. Now, this is another W pick, even though it's another SIG rifle and whatnot. I just hope you can make it look like the SWAT 556 from BO2. MS bullshit grot. Now, I don't know much about this gun, but it looks pretty cool, so I won't hate on it too much, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get the bullpup version in this game. We got the APC-9. This is a pretty W choice. Pretty futuristic looking little SMG and whatnot, fits the game. But I feel like it should have been like a DLC gun. We got the Vector, you know what I'm saying? The Vector definitely needs to be in this game. It wouldn't make sense if the game didn't have the Vector, so I'm glad they're bringing it back. And then we got the UMP, or the UMP. Another really W choice. I just hope that the base model is the 45 version and not the fucking 9mm version. Then we got the P90. Another W pick. I just hope that it comes with an integrated optic. You know what I'm saying? Because some guns in the beta, they came with attachments. So I hope some guns in the game do come with attachments. Like, I hope the MP7 comes with its foregrip. I was going to say that the MP7 does not have its foregrip in the beta. The MP7 should come with a foregrip. And I feel like to make that P90 stand out from all the other SMGs, it should come with an integrated optic and whatnot. Also, if it's going to have the options for longer barrels, please make those options come with a hand guard or some shit. Don't just have the fucking barrel sticking out looking like the civilian version. That shit looks ugly. Next up, we got the MP5. Yeah, no, I would have started a riot if they didn't add the MP5 to the game. The MP5 gotta be in the game. Then we got the M240B WLMG pick. I just hope that the LMG performs better in the hands than it does when it's attached to a tank. XM250 Another good choice, you know what I'm saying? Because this is another NGSW, Next Generation Squad Weapon, and it just makes sense to have it in the game. It's a chunky ass LMG. The MG4, MG4 ain't a bad choice, but it kind of just looks like any other LMGs. RPK. Now listen, if they just add a wooden AK to the game, they could just make the RPK accessible through like customization and attachments. I mean, it is a LMG, but it's not the most LMG-ist LMG. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, there's way other machine guns out there that fit the role of LMG more than the RPK. M60 WPIC. I just hope it's the more modernized version I've been hearing about and shit. M27 IAR. Now, this could probably be the game's replacement for the M416. So, you know what I'm saying? I can't get too mad at SVD. Bruh, can we just leave the Dragunov back in Black Ops 1? Like, come on. The game already has the Dragunov predecessor. I'm pretty sure the SVK in real life is a more modified Dragunov. And we're going to have a Barrett 50 cal in the game and whatnot. And I would much rather it be like a battle pickup. You know what I'm saying? Something scattered around the map that you could pick up to like take out tanks and infantry. I also hope that it's the semi-auto version and not some bolt action version. SVD 98. This is basically just a bolt action Dragunov. I would much rather they take out the Dragunov and leave this one in the game. M1014. If there's a shotgun I'm gonna be using, it's gonna be this one. I ain't gonna lie. Then we got the Sega. I'm really glad that they added a magazine-fed shotgun. I just kind of wish it was another one. Then we got the M327 TRR8. Now, revolvers for the most part don't fit the aesthetic of the game, in my opinion. I feel like they should be like a battle pickup or something, maybe. Then we got a Glock 22. Now, I hope that DICE doesn't think that the Glock 22 shoots 22 LR. You know what I'm saying? One Google search could fix that. But yeah, nah, this wouldn't be a modern war game if the Glock wasn't in it. 1911. Now, the fun inside of me would have been mad if the 1911 wasn't in this game. That being said, though, it should be the most modernized M1911 possible. You know what I'm saying? To really fit the aesthetic of the game. We got the Taurus Raging Hunter Magnum. It's a pretty good pick for the hand cannon category. But I feel like if you're going to add a Taurus weapon in this game, it should be the Taurus Judge. You know what I'm saying? So you can have the option to shoot 410 shotgun rounds and just have it be exclusive to engineer, recon, and support. So, since Assault has enough problems with the shotguns and shit. Those are all the leaked weapons. Alright, so now we're going to take a break from the weapons and whatnot, and we're going to talk about the people that use the weapons, aka the classes. Like, the weakest classes in terms of team play gotta be like Assault and Recon. First thing I want to say about Assault is like, why the fuck do I have to enable my second primary weapon with one of the D-pad buttons? I'm pretty sure it's like left or right on the D-pad. It should be triangle for that, and then one of the D-pad buttons for your actual secondary. But yeah, for a lot of people say that Assault is one of the weakest classes and whatnot. And yeah, I guess in terms of team play, low-key, I mean, they're really just there to just kill shit. I guess the only way that we can make Assault better is by making them better at killing shit. So, like, look, this might be a hot take. I know everyone is sick and tired of tactical sprint or tac sprint and whatnot, but I feel like the Assault class should get the ability to tac sprint so they can have a little, like, movement edge. I already heard that Battlefield is going to be... Not Battlefield, fucking DICE is gonna be, changing up a lot of the movement exploits. So, I guess it'll be a fair trade to take out the movement exploits and then put in tac sprinting. I don't know. It might be a cooked idea. I know everyone's sick and tired of tac sprinting. I kind of get it. I kind of don't. And like, I also heard something about the Assault class getting the Recon's respawn beacon, and like, I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like it's just going to end up hurting the Recon class a little bit. I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to have C4 and the Soul Flam, I'm pretty sure. So it's not that much of a big nerf. But in my opinion, if it was up to me, I feel like the Assault class should get C4 as a replacement for grenades. And if the recon class ends up getting a drone, that's how assault and recon should be like rebalanced or whatever, so there could be some team play in between them. Because at the end of the day, the reason why they're giving the assault the spawn beacon is so that the spawn beacon could be placed in more crazy areas or more like in combat areas. But like at the end of the day, like an assault player could just play like a recon and put it in stupid areas, like, you know, on top of Mount Fuji or whatever. For the recon, I feel like a passive ability that'd be pretty cool is that, like, if you're ever like not cooking a grenade, because there's not really cooking grenades in the game, but like if you're holding a grenade ready to throw it, prepping it, you feel me? There's like a if you're playing recon, there should be like a little arch or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? So like establishing that recons have better aims and shit compared to the other operators because they're snipers. It would also be cool if recon had the ability to have access to anti-tank snipers. I feel like that would also make them more involved in the actual fight instead of just sitting in the back eating donuts. As for support, it's a really good spot. Support is actually support in this game. Like, they're dropping ammo, they're dropping health, they're reviving. They're like, I feel like this is the first battlefield where the support class is actually the support class. Now, the only gripe that I got with it is that, but I don't know how I feel about the deployable shield. I don't really like how it's used in the game. It's like a suitcase that you drop and then a fucking shield pops out. I feel like deployable shield should get taken out and then replaced with a riot shield. Now, I know that we might end up having that turtle shelling meta from Call of Duty. I get that. I also fear that if they ever end up adding riot shields, but there's other ways to balance that shit out. You feel me? Given like let's say the base riot shield is one of them transparent shitty ones. You know what I'm saying? Like it's somewhat bulletproof, has certain durability, but you get more visibility, stuff like that. And then the second one is like an actual full steel riot shield that actually has like more durability. If you have it on your back, you know, it still protects you, but it breaks at one point. You feel me? So it's not, so, you know, someone doesn't have a bulletproof object on them the whole game. Also, I guess if support ends up ever being too OP, I guess one way we can nerf them a little bit is making them the slowest allies to drag while reviving. You know what I'm saying? Unless you have a defib. Engineer's also in a really good spot, but I do feel like you should be limited to one launcher at a time. Or if you end up picking two launchers, the ammo like evens out between them. I'm not really sure what's the inspiration between the anti-tank mines, but I think I'd rather go back to the OG pressure pad mines. Moving on from the classics, now we're going to talk about the movement. See what I did there? For the most part, the movement is in a pretty good spot. I've seen some videos of people exploiting shit, you know what I'm saying? Shit ain't been the same ever since Black Ops 3 dropped, you feel me? Ever since G-hopping became a thing. Also heard that DICE is trying to fix that and whatnot. So yeah, for the most part, moving is in a good spot. I would like to suggest sliding down mountains like Apex, you know what I'm saying? I don't know about stairs and whatnot, but like, yeah, like down mountains and whatnot, that'd be kind of cool. Also, helping your friends up, like climb walls and just climbing walls in general would be kind of cool and helpful, because there's a couple walls that I couldn't even climb in the game. If they ever want to buff explosives in any way without like upping the damage on them, they should add like a knockdown effect or like a knockback effect. That'd be cool, like, you know what I'm saying, from like Battlefield 5, I'm pretty sure. And also, I feel like pulling out the knife to run. And I mean, if they want to keep it in the game, they can keep it in the game. But I feel like it's a pretty dumb feature. You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I supposed to pretend that just because I pulled out my knife, all the rest of my fucking equipment just goes into another realm? Now, as for the maps, I like most of the maps. If I'm being honest with you, the only complaint I have about the maps really is that a lot of the terrain makes it very hard for like jeeps. You know what I'm saying, to go through. Cairo, Empire State are definitely the best maps. Iberian is the third. And, you know, Liberation Peak is definitely like the most annoying, but I kind of have a soft spot for it. Surprisingly, the vehicles weren't that annoying in my experience with the beta. Now, I feel like that has a lot more to do with the maps that were selected to be in the beta. I don't know how I feel about engineers sitting on the back of tanks to repair them. Kind of immersion breaking, kind of not. I saw a clip. I think of like Jack Frags riding a helicopter while like standing on it and repairing it. Yeah, they definitely got to fix that shit, because that's not even physically possible. But that being said, they gotta buff the Jeeps, man. They gotta buff the Jeeps. These are like the most bulky and badass looking Jeeps I've ever seen in a Battlefield game, and they gotta buff them. The machine gun on them is good. It does good damage, but whenever you're on it, you're just a sitting, driving, standing headshot just waiting to happen. I feel like they should add some protection to the back of the gunner, for one, and also they should make it that when you aim down, you like duck your head and shit, so you're a harder headshot to hit. Also, if they could add maybe some machine guns on the doors of the Jeeps, that'd be cool. I just want the Jeeps to be as badass as they look right now in the game. So yeah, that's why I'm talking so much about the Jeeps. I'm not sure if they're planning on adding vehicle customization, but if they do, it'd be really cool if you could switch out the 50 cal machine gun for like an MK19 automatic grenade launcher. Anti-tank mines, they should just be targeting the tanks, hence the name anti-tanks. I think right now they just target any vehicle that walks by them. I feel like they should at least add a vehicle that has like 3 or 4 gunners on them, so at least like there could be like a squad, a dedicated squad of vehicle players, instead of just, you know, 2 people gunning and then a herd of engineers walking behind them. Alright, so my computer died on my first take of doing this, so we're just gonna skim by this, but these are just basically some miscellaneous amount of complaints that I had. First off, grenades feel too light. I feel like they got to add a little bit of weight to it so they could become more predictable with throws. I'm not sure what the stim does. I guess it's supposed to heal you, but I don't really feel like it does that too well. The rangefinder doesn't really work. I looked at every corner of my screen. I did not see anything finding my range. The dragging is a really cool feature when you know what I'm saying, when you're dragging down allies. But I feel like if you don't need to drag them, there should be an animation for like an idle revive instead of just sitting there with a needle in your hand. The NATO forces don't really look like real soldiers. They kind of look like airsofters. I feel like the Pax Armada looks more like actual soldiers than the NATO forces, which is funny because in the lore of the game, I'm pretty sure the Pax Armada is supposed to be a PMC. It's supposed to look like militarized civilians and whatnot. So I feel like they should just change the NATO forces look with the Pax Armada look, and then change the Pax Armada look into more militarized civilians. The player models, when you equip a foregrip, it doesn't really adapt to it, leading to foregrips poking through hands. I imagine that they've already fixed that. I love the leaning and mounting features, but I feel like the mounting feature doesn't really control the recoil as much as I would like to on certain guns. The minimap is pretty dog shit, but that's fine. I would rather people use their senses and whatnot to be good at the game instead of looking at something in the corner chasing Doritos on the screen. Defib shouldn't be doing damage, in my opinion. I feel like it leads to really goofy gameplay of a dude with medical equipment running around killing everyone. Out of the map spots, there are cause for concern for sure. I'm pretty sure in one of my gameplays you'll see that I'm in the out of a map spot. Let me be real with y'all. At the time, I didn't even know these shits existed. I'm not gonna lie, it felt iffy. It felt iffy because I was never in that spot before in the map. But yeah, at the moment, I didn't know it was out of the map spot. And also, I don't know how to report shit to EA, so please don't ban me, EA. When you're inside of a building, when you look outside of one, it's really blinding. And I know why they do that. It's for like realism and immersion purposes, but I feel like that should be the amount of blindness you receive should be based on how long you've been inside of a dark area. The visual recoil on some of the guns when you equipped a magnified optic is a little bit too crazy. It feels like no matter how much I try to fight it, it stays the same. I like that the lasers are visible to enemies, but I just don't like that some of them aren't and some are. I feel like they should all be visible. The tow missiles and the anti-air cannons are cool, but I also wish that they could add like some mountain turrets over the map, so you can defend positions a little bit better. Alright, now that I'm done talking shit about DICE's new game, I think it was a good time to let them know what I want them to add to the game in terms of weapons.
Psych!
Overall, my opinions on the Battlefield 6 beta are more than positive. They are like over the moon, bro. We might have a banger on our hands, bro. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx it because DICE could fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I'm still not pre-ordering shit, but we might have a banger on our hands. If this is the beta, the full game could be...
About to bust.
Let me not talk to him, bro. I'm done. I'll catch on the next one. Hopefully, the game is good so I can make more Battlefield 6 videos. Doses.